So yeah, welcome back everybody to the Paper Straw Podcast. I'll be your host today. I'm Chris, and with me, as always, is Christian and Ryan.
Hey
And
guys.
I think we're going to jump into some. I think the point of this podcast, right, is just to talk about whatever and get different perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah. So we were kind of discussing the Fukushima thing and China China acting.
The
I
way
feel
you say China is just funny.
yeah,
China,
China
uh,
like Trump,
China. Yeah.
China, China. But they're they're acting like holier than thou with this whole thing. Have y'all seen this? Where it's like we're boycotting your fish.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, they're all pissed off. It's like they're
And it's about what specifically?
because they're releasing that Fukushima water.
Oh, because of the water, the
Yeah,
radioactive.
yeah. But
Um, I
there's a
mean,
news article.
I'd be a little pissed.
Yeah, we did discuss this, by the way, on on
I'm kind of
on,
pissed. I mean,
on some other show. Like we were never surprised that this is the reaction that they're gonna get.
yeah, yeah.
Right. But the
It's
interesting
weird. This topic sounds familiar. Have we talked about this before on this
yeah,
podcast?
I think so.
it's like a
Oh, okay. Yeah.
deja vu or some shit. I don't know. But no, but the interesting thing about this development is um I don't okay, so maybe I sent the thing and you can add this in post, I guess, Christian. Is that Chinese nuclear plants have released water containing tritium, right? Like that's the whole problem. At so they've done it, they did it in
What is that
2020.
word? Beck, Beck, Becquerels? Becquerels? About 102
Oh,
trillion becquerels?
I don't
I don't
know.
know what
It
that word is. I'm
must be yeah. Obviously, it's a unit of measurement, but I've never heard of
Yeah,
it.
that's
But
crazy.
yes, it's 6.5 times higher. So since what do I see here? 2021. So
But I
it's
see four different plants at least that they've
at least
released. Yeah.
Yeah, with
at least.
China right now grandstanding like this, I'm not actually that surprised because the rest of the world is kind of against them right now. Like even here in my country, we recently had a spat with them. Like I wouldn't be surprised that they would criticize Japan of all places, an ally of my country, regarding something like this.
Yeah, but you would think that like if it's almost like they're blind to like the whole their image across the world, right? Like you're bitching with the Philippines, you're bitching with the US, you're bitching with whoever, South Korea, you're bitching with, got India
I
probably,
don't,
all these
yeah, I
places.
don't think they're blind. I think they have tunnel vision. That's basically the whole movement that they have.
I personally think they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you think most normal people, right? If you can, like, Xi Jinping or whoever, like basically nothing happens unless he says, you know what I'm saying? Like this, there's no news coming out of China if he doesn't like approve of it. So this boycotting of uh Japanese fish or whatever, it's like just like you can't win every battle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why are you starting shit
Yeah.
when you got skeletons in your closet? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just kind of I think a normal person would just be like, all right, we're getting away with a lot of shit. Let's just kind of stay quiet.
They have to raise up arms, I feel like, They have to cause problems for everyone else.
Mm. But that was just interesting. That
Yeah.
wasn't what I wanted to talk about today.
It is interesting. And it's actually,
Well, I saw the news about that is happening today or yesterday, whatever, in Japan,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. It's like, it's like an event. Like, oh, they're finally releasing the water. Like, you know what I mean? It's just funny to me how it's kind of an event. Like, okay, like who
Well,
cares, right? Who cares?
it's a
China, clearly, China, clearly.
yeah. Well, it's more of a geopolitical event because
Yeah.
I talk to Japanese people every day, and they do not agree with this. Like the regular 9 to 5, they're like, this is dumb.
You should release in the water.
Yeah, they're like it's because I asked, I was like, is there not something better, a better solution? They're like, I don't know, but this is not good. Like I say 100%, but then again, obviously I talk to a small population of Japanese people, but it's definitely consensus. I would imagine that most people are just like, no, I don't like this.
Hmm.
But,
I don't know.
Is the boycott
like-
ongoing for China for Japanese fish? Are they
that's what
planning to
China. That's
boycott?
what China's threatening. Threatening. That's what they're threatening. Maybe.
Yeah, because
What?
I just saw that it's actually
Threaten what? They're gonna not eat
496.
fish?
It's a $496 million industry for Japan in case this actually goes
Yeah,
forward.
it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a huge blow for them.
but
Yeah.
this is
Even if we're
so they're
talking
saying they're
about
not gonna
China
buy
here.
fish. They're not gonna buy like produce and food stock, right? You're saying like fish from Japan?
In terms of fish, I think Japan is a gold standard, right?
I mean,
I'm confused because it's like, what? Who cares? Again, who cares? Like, what? So what?
Well, no, I mean it's a huge market for Japan. Doesn't matter to China.
I mean,
It's kind of hypocritical because I think the Japanese government already shown the light that Beijing doesn't actually have any agreements with any neighboring country regarding dumping it. At least,
but my thing, wouldn't that
in
cause other
terms-
issues? Like Japan would be like, okay, well, we're not gonna import anything to you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Japan is highly reliable, not only on export, but they import a lot of their food. Like
Export, you mean?
no import.
Okay.
It's a
They
surprising
bring in a lot of other food from outside.
bro. It's a surprising percentage of their food. It's like, oh God,
It makes sense.
I want to say
Japan's
higher than,
tiny.
yeah, but I mean, you're importing rice.
Japan is importing rice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't make any fucking sense, but I mean,
Yeah.
if
they
you say
import
so.
rice. They import a lot of soy.
Hmm.
It's crazy. I want to say it's upwards of 60% of their national.
But I mean, no
food.
matter what, either way, it's not like they're going to like not release the water or whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
I
I mean,
mean,
that's gonna go through no matter what, I feel like. It's not
mhm.
like they're gonna slow that down, or it's already happened, right? I believe it's already happened.
Apparently,
Yeah,
Japan is actually
yeah.
importing a Western rice. That's their primary import, which is coming from the US. So they're
That's
actually
crazy.
spending 284 million for your rice.
Well, that's kind of
I believe it.
my point. Like,
Where the fuck we get?
like what? Okay, like so China like blocks imports exports. Like it's not like Japan has anywhere else to go. Like sure China's close and it's helpful, but they have other options. It's like you know what I
Right.
mean. It's like not like they have to rely on China for anything.
Well,
Or
I
They
vice
think
still have
versa.
the US. They still have the US
Yeah.
in terms of partners in
I mean, not
trade.
even the U.S. Anybody, literally anybody else.
Yeah. I think for a small economy country, a trade partner like China is kind of a big deal,
Oh, for sure.
which is why
sure.
China gets away with fucking murder anyway.
I mean, a lot of technology, a lot of chips, stuff like that is made in China. Phones,
Hmm.
all sorts of things.
Yeah,
I think production is very important, but it's not like I believe the Philippines has become a big production place for chips and stuff like that. Like it's not just China that they have to concern
Right.
themselves with.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's also Vietnam now. Like
Yeah,
all of a
Vietnam,
sudden,
Singapore,
Korea. Yeah,
Korea, and Vietnam.
yeah, Indonesia. Yeah, they're all getting in on the game.
Yeah, and once again, in your elections, China's gonna be
oh,
part of the
Pata.
conversation, right? On whether
And
a
Russia,
candidate
China,
would
Russia.
Well, China should be part of the conversation
usual suspects.
because they're up here like this with Joe Biden. They're working
Well,
the
Joe
straight.
Biden's gonna have
puppetry?
to do some dancing right now because he's been pretty tight here in the Philippines, and we're not loving China at the moment.
Joe Biden can't dance his way out of shit.
I said dance.
Complete and utter.
I didn't say
I would
dance
say
well.
I don't usually get political and stuff, and I'm not like I don't know, I'm not a very political person, but I will say what's with their with the way that like the US handles Trump and politics is so gross. Like I think there was even a joke article about how how Americans are like ton of Americans like pulled their pants down like after they saw the Trump arrest pictures, whatever. It's like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's just like a joke, essentially.
yeah.
How we handle politics here.
Mm. And this political shift, I feel like this political shift happened. I remember as a kid much before I was able to vote, and even after I turned 18, like no one discussed their political,
Yeah.
especially who they
that's
voted for.
that's something my mom told me never to do, right?
Yeah,
Never.
you don't
She's
do
like,
that.
listen, like don't like just don't bring it up. It's not no one's business. And
Right.
like unless they ask, right? I mean, it's just my
I mean,
mom always
even
told me never bring it up because
yeah,
they're probably
even
cause more
asking,
problems than not,
yeah,
right?
even asking is in bad taste. You know what I'm saying? Like, who'd you vote for? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
little weird.
I have a 10-year-old kid who actually asks about politics now, which is kind of weird. I don't know what kind of social media posts she's been reading, but
Who is this? Your
if it
daughter?
was back in our time, our parents would have actually scolded us, like telling us that we're too young for this thing to actually
Yeah.
understand it, to
That's
actually form an
that's the other thing.
opinion.
How it's become such like a millennial or even not even millennial, like Gen Z like thing. Like you know what I mean? Like being super liberal, being like super political, and
Yeah,
it's like a
Yeah, and
it's like a
this
young person thing now. It's like kind of I don't know.
yeah.
It wasn't like that when I was a kid. At least I don't remember.
I don't think it
and this
was like
goes
it could.
back to my opinion regarding this new generation. They feel like not there's no generation that came before them. That's why they feel they all
Yeah.
have the information. They feel that they fully understand politics. They feel that they fully understand society and culture. Like they don't actually acknowledge that the past happened. The only thing that they acknowledge in the past is actually it's atrocious.
Is it
That's
Yeah,
the
what?
thing.
true.
Every negative thing in the past is the only thing that they actually acknowledge. They never
Mhm.
actually look at the progress that happened
Yeah.
with those people that they actually criticized.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you are an African American right now in the US. Can you honestly tell me that things are worse now than they were in the 50s and the 60s?
Well,
Like
I
Kevin
I
can't.
Hart
can't answer
actually
that.
said this.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart
It's
actually
certainly
mentioned
bad
it
in certain
before.
places. But
But
yeah,
Kevin Hart
I see what you're
actually
saying.
mentioned it before that things regarding African Americans are worse now than they were before. Like when?
Well,
I don't know about all that, but
yeah.
I will
Well, I
say
mean,
in certain places for sure, yeah, there's definitely places where
And this really is a
Native
touchy
American
subject
they're
because
not going to get service or something like that, the same service, right? Or the police won't treat them the same, right? But I mean, overall, no. Like overall, no.
I
yeah,
mean,
this
overall,
really is a
everybody.
touchy
I mean,
subject. Because go ahead.
globally, right? Globally, we're in a better place than we were 50 years ago.
Yeah,
Not just the U.S.
yeah,
or it's society. The global society has improved.
yeah,
Medicine is more available. Education is a lot more widespread. I'm sure global illiteracy rates are down. You know what I'm saying? Like we're progressing as a race. And back to Christian's point, I think one of the best examples of this people not understanding what they're fighting for type thing is when everyone was in an uproar and had the Washington Redskins removed from the football team, and now the
I remember
Native
that.
American, I'm sorry, I apologize, I don't know the organization exactly, but it's a Native American organization, and they're like, we never asked for this, like put it back.
It's representation.
Is that true? That's crazy.
Yeah, you could Google it. It's true. It's the North. I'm gonna butcher it. I know it's Native North American Indigenous something maybe group or organization or something. They're just like, what are y'all doing? Like, we did not ask for
I mean,
this.
you think that's bad? Just wait until like 2050 when they think the Steelers is a bad name. They're gonna change that, right? Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Because steel production polluted.
You
You
don't.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait that long. Like the new live action Snow White is coming out. Have you guys
Oh
Yeah.
God,
seen
don't get me
it?
fucking started.
Right? That's the generation of voters that you guys are going to be dealing with, and that's the new generation of politicians
It's
you
it's
guys are going to have.
so
No,
I don't know. I
no,
understand where
it's
like
dying, I think.
I get like her point of like, strong feminine mentality type thing,
Mm,
but it's not the story for it, if that makes sense,
yeah.
right? It's not,
Yeah.
did you actually watch Snow White? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. There's characters, and
it,
this isn't something that was written. This isn't a new Hollywood story. Like this is probably what, German, maybe.
oh yeah, there was the Brothers Grimm, I think, right? They
Yeah.
originated from the Brothers Grimm tales of,
Right.
yeah.
But it's a story about a young woman using her feminine wiles. Right. Like the huntsman doesn't kill her because she's so attractive, and she's so
Yeah,
pretty and fair, and she's so incredibly pure hearted that the animals of the forest help her.
yeah,
Um, and then she meets these guys that are living, let's say below the poverty line, let's say, for example, right?
the
They're
dwarves.
yeah, the dwarfs, right? They're working hard jobs. They're mining, and they're living in this small house. It takes all seven of them. When's the last time you heard about somebody having six roommates? So, and like you know what I mean?
Jeffrey
Like,
Epstein's house.
but she says, I can't offer you anything, but I can like cook and clean and like, you know, help you help me type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like that's a great story, of a woman
yeah,
that uses what she has and survives. She doesn't have
yeah.
to be like, you know, because I mean,
Boss
Snow White
lady,
Part
right?
Two, she's got fucking machine guns and probably a beard because she's
Well,
transitioning.
it's also different. Like she's trying to make a point, like, you have to like, rearrange the story in a way that makes it, acceptable to modern
Then
audiences.
just make an original
It's a
film.
story based in like the 19, what is it, the 1900, early 1800s,
Well, kings and queens and shit.
right? Like it's not even a modern story. It's like, okay, you can
Mm,
take a modern take on it if you
yeah.
want. Like Romeo plus Juliet type thing, right? With
Oh
guns or
God, you
whatever.
remember when they did
If
that
that's the
shit
type,
with?
if that's the direction you want to go, but that's not the type of story you're making.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the story. It's not the story.
Like
It's
she's
like
so
taking
You're saying,
against.
Christian?
Terminator.
Yeah, she's so against the old version. I would much rather have that than the generic girl boss thing that she's trying to promote. Like we've had that shit for what? For the better part of 8 years. This is why cinema actually
Yeah.
died. People forget how to make good characters, not because of their gender, but because they're
Well,
actually pretty damn good
look what
and
happened with
written well.
it's what happened with The Witcher, right? The Witcher series.
Hmm.
It started off very strong. They did even a prequel recently, which kind of had the similar tropes with like, very female driven, very which again, I don't want to knock. Like it's not it's detrimental to the story when the characters are just kind of bullshit, right? It has
Hmm.
nothing to do with the fact that it's female driven or so. It's more about the writing. It's more about the setup and the payoff. There's
Right.
none there, right?
Right.
And that's why The Witcher petered out. Like,
Hmm.
Henry Cavill's role was like kind of squandered because they just
Hmm.
didn't want to follow the story how it actually goes in the books. She
Right.
wanted to make other female characters more important, and they just had nothing to do with the actual story.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's just like one of the biggest problems right now with Hollywood is just like figuring out your footing. Like, if you want to do modern bullshit stories, like that's fine. Just make sure that the story actually counts. Like, make it memorable, make it
Right.
meaningful.
Well, and
Yeah.
also like, what about the millennial parents, right? Like parents my age, right? I have a 16-year-old, and but you know, if I would have had more children, I would have, probably 14-year-old, 12-year-old, you know what I'm saying? Like down. And you
Yeah,
take these stories that you grew up with, right? The big plastic, I know everybody remembers the big plastic Disney movie cassette tape, like they were beautiful, huge, all the
yeah,
animated ones. And like my cousins had, like, they're all girls, they had like all those movies. I just remember they were big white, bulky cases with the Disney movies inside of there. Like you're taking the opportunity for a parent from that time to not only relive the story, but also to experience it in a new way with their children. When you just completely change the whole fuck, it's like, I want to see. Mom, you said Snow White was your favorite. Yeah, I want to go see it. Bitch, that's not Snow White. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, and we still
Abomination.
haven't gone to the fact that they're not going to be using dwarves here. Like
That
this
too.
is in
I
part
haven't really
because
looked
of Peter.
into what they're not using doors.
Yeah,
No.
this is in part because of I think Peter Dinklage once mentioned that he finds it offensive that Snow White still has 7 little people
She
or
don't
dwarves on
have
her.
them. They're not hers.
Like the thing with that is a member of their community, I think it's Hornswoggle from the WWE, actually spoke up saying he doesn't represent us. Like these are 7 jobs that are made for us, and possibly 14 if you add the stunt doubles. Like there are very little, no pun intended, parts in Hollywood for them to actually play. They can't play
Yeah.
the Tom Cruise role. They can't play the Robert Downey Jr. roles. This is made for them and possibly a big break for some of them.
Mm.
Like, why even give this
Interesting.
to regular size people just for the
They
sake
don't
of
call
like
them.
politics? Now, this
Yeah.
comes to the point. I think everything regarding this is just stunt casting. They just need to have a bit of hype regarding this.
Or you think they're waiting for backlash and then they'll reverse?
Yeah. I feel this is just stunt casting. They
I
know
thought the
they're going to
movie was like
receive
coming out
backlash.
soon.
I know
Wasn't
they're
the
going to
movie
be
that coming?
backlash if they're going to be pushing forward with this. Remember
Was that right?
Velma?
The demise of
Well, the
Velma.
interesting, I mean, Velma. The interesting, like that was so bad that it got so much coverage on YouTube and other places. Like it almost made it appealing. If that
Highly
makes sense.
rated,
Like not
by the way.
necessarily, but like the views were good. Like, I think it's getting a second season. It was solely because of the like people shitting on it.
Mm.
Like I think Disney's so used to being shitted on right now that they actually
And
just don't care.
like I never
Yeah.
I never cared about the Little Mermaid, the change of race for the Little Mermaid, because
Same here.
mermaids are not real, right? I don't care. Honestly,
Yeah.
make it realistic mermaids where like it's all fish looking.
Well, I think
and
it's
fucking horror
it
movie
has
type shit.
that role has nothing to do with race. It's can she
Nothing.
sing? And that's what
Nothing
they
to do
look
with
for.
race.
Someone who could sing well.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
actually pretty good. She's not the
Yeah.
worst part of that movie. The worst
Yeah.
part of the Little Mermaid was actually the tone of the movie. It was actually pretty bleak. There's no fun in it. Like
But yeah,
people
but
keep saying
I
that
was
movie actually didn't lose them money. That movie actually lost them money. To be able to be profitable, you have to make back 2.5% of your budget. It didn't.
Well, the other thing on that, it's specific really to this problem, like Snow White and Little Mermaid, is Disney remaking old classics into live action. Like they weren't supposed to exist in live action to begin with. They were made for animation, right? Some of these
well, they were
stories are just
made.
better in it. I mean, look at anime. When they try to make live action anime, it usually doesn't go well, right? Because it's hard to translate that stuff.
It's not what you want. That's not what you can't.
Which is
Yeah,
why the
you
One
just
Piece
can't.
thing is gonna be interesting.
But no,
Yeah,
and the point
yeah.
I wanted to make though was like the mermaid was fine, right? Whatever color. But
Yeah.
you can't make Snow White not Snow White.
Yeah.
And that's not a racist thing, right? Like
No.
it's like Black Panther. Do you want a white Black Panther? No, you don't, because it's Black
Yes.
fucking Panther.
It doesn't actually help that the actress that they casted as Snow White is actually pretty unlikable. Like Brie Larson level of unlikable. Even worse. Like she
But
was actually casted in Shazam. And when that movie tanked, she actually disavowed that movie, saying that she got that movie just because no one would actually hire her. So goes to show the personality we're dealing with here.
yeah, it's a mess. But again, this wasn't what I wanted to talk about. Like we went from Fukushima to
We devolved.
Disney. Yeah, but it's all right. We got about another half hour or so, I think. But I want to see your guys' level of like pet peevery, right? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
things that annoy you. So
Interesting.
I made a
what
list.
when what like
uh,
general in general.
in general. So I made a list.
Interesting.
I seen a commercial earlier, and I was like, "That's so fucking stupid." And then I was like, my first thought was, "Why am I complaining about this? Like, why do I care?" And then I was like, "This happens a lot. Like, I bitch about stuff that doesn't mean that holds no weight in my life, but I bitch about it regularly." So I made a list of things I regularly bitch about, and I
Okay,
want to, and I want to. It's only 5 things, right?
okay.
And oddly enough, 3 of the 5, well, maybe even 4 of the 5, are food related, some way or
Okay.
another.
No
First,
surprise here.
non-alcoholic beer. I feel this is the most useless product probably on earth.
I disagree.
Really? Oh, good. That's why I wanted to do this. I was hoping someone would disagree with me. Enlighten me, please.
Because what if you're an
non-alcoholic beer?
alcoholic and you want to hang out with your friends, but you still want to be a part of the gang? Like, oh, I'm drinking.
But
I
you're
know a
not
lot of
drinking.
yeah, but I mean, still like
But you're not though.
feeling like you're a part. I mean, hey, I've been around a ton of alcoholics who gotten over their problems, obviously, but they still want to be a part of the group. That's the best way to do it is have like a fake beer, like, and who cares? Like, no one, half the time, no one's gonna ask, oh, is there fucking liquor in that? Like, who cares? Like, you're with the
But
crowd, you're with the group.
yeah, but if they're your friends, they actually know that you're actually trying to be sober.
But I mean, if you're
No, no,
trying,
well, I say friends, but you know what I mean. Like, if they're at a
yeah,
social gathering or something, like, it's not
right,
necessarily around friends, but you know what I mean.
right.
I think that's one of the primary uses I feel like for it is for alcoholics. Like, what if like what if you have a get together and you have an alcoholic friend come over, right? Or someone that you knew like was alcoholic or had problems. Instead of having beer, you could have fake beer and like you could all hang out. And not worry about your friend going crazy or something. These type of things, right? Like,
Right.
yeah, I mean,
Okay. I have
Can't
a
you just
couple.
drink soda? That's it.
yeah,
I have
yeah. I mean, it is easier said than done when it comes to that, though. Like, it is kind of a like you see your friend. Oh, everyone's drinking, and you have a soda in hand. Someone's gonna come up to you and be like, you want a beer, right, or
yeah.
something like that, right?
But I mean, even
Or like, why are you being a pussy? Like, why aren't you drinking? Like, well, I was an alcoholic. Like, you don't want to go into it. You don't want to get into it.
right.
It's just easier to have a fake beer on hand.
Well, I mean, but the thing with the fake beer is the packaging nowadays. It's not even like covert packaging. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
non-alcoholic, and it's like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And, I love beer. I drink beer, you know, regularly. I love beer. But I'm not. I enjoy the taste of beer if there's a payoff, right? But I'm not drinking beer just because
Yeah.
there. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
some people
Like,
just like drinking beer. They just don't like, the alcohol side.
okay, well, you make a good point. You make a very good point. I can understand how, and obviously there's a market for it, right? Or it wouldn't be there. So, but
Yeah.
me personally, that's something that I regularly like. I was in 7-Eleven a few weeks ago, and the lady there was trying to upsell me, which they don't do that. I don't think in the States they do that shit here. You buy like a candy bar. And she's like, "You want a case of beer?" And it's like, "No, I'm in here for a fucking candy bar."
Just for a candy bar.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's
I
like,
mean, they
no,
do that at like
Beer?
they'll do
yeah.
that at like GameStop. Like, you want insurance on this game? Do you want and do you want a
Yeah,
membership?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
do that at GameStop. It's about it.
yeah. But
So you don't want
I was
insurance with that
paying, I
candy
was
bar?
paying for, yeah, I was
Yeah.
paying for my shit, and she's like, "Oh, we have." She actually said we have this new Heineken, and I was like, "Oh, for real?" So that I was like,
The
"Oh,"
non-alcoholic stuff,
and
right?
then I looked over, and it's like 0 points, and I was like,
Yeah.
"There's no alcohol in that." She's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, there's." And I was
It's funny, what LA Thieves has like a partnership with them. So
like,
a lot of times they'll have them out like during podcasts and stuff. It's just funny to me. It's like,
Well, I mean, if one of them wants to sponsor, I'll drink the shit out of it during the podcast.
well, it's just funny to me because it's Heineken. Like, no offense, Heineken's like the bottom of the barrel, in my opinion, of beer. Like I'm not a fan of Heineken. I just don't like the taste. So going to what I said about people liking to drink beer, even though they don't like the liquor part or the alcohol part, I mean, I don't see people drinking Heinekens just for the fuck of it, right?
I don't see that's my point exactly. I don't see people drinking non-alcoholic beer. Like I had a friend when I was in where were we? We was in Kuwait, and we went to the mall and to the Kuwait City Mall and had like the one with the big ass ship in it. It's huge. And we had dinner or whatever. And we had been stationed in Kuwait at this point for 4 or 5 months, right? So no beer or anything, right? You're deployed, even although it is just Kuwait. But he did order like an NA Budweiser. But that I kind of get, right? Like,
yeah,
you like it, you've been overseas for a few months. It's like I just want to taste a Budweiser. Like that's all I want to do. So he did get the NA, and but I took the opportunity to smoke a Cuban cigar because I didn't think when will I ever get this opportunity again? I paid $80 for that fucking thing.
damn, for one.
Just
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah, I mean it's a Cuban cigar.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you cannot get those legally in the United States.
yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
I was like, when I seen it, I was like, bro, I may never have this chance again.
Just want to ask, how did they smuggle that Cuban cigar?
No, I mean, like, I think Bill Clinton brought it in back in the 90s. But yeah, anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, so the second thing, and I'm curious about y'all's, your take on this. Okay, is plant-based proteins, right? Now, before we get started, I don't have issue with sustainable food sources, right? Like making plants into food. This I don't have a problem with. My issue comes in to why does this plant-based burger have to look like a hamburger, right? Like if you're so against eating meat, then why are you trying to replicate? You know what I mean? Like to me, it's just kind of it's like it looks like real meat. Like I don't give a shit. Like if it tastes good, I'll eat it. Like I love salad, but I don't want
I don't
want a
that's a good
salad
question.
with.
Honestly, I have no fucking idea how to respond to that.
It's insane.
Other than maybe like for vegans, maybe they just want the experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
What is it, vegan or is it the
Vegetarians?
I don't know what.
yeah, what is it? Vegetarians?
Someone in the
what the
comment
difference
section will be schooling us regarding this.
Please,
Yeah,
please.
I'm gonna look like an idiot. Well, there's also another one. It's Episcopalian, right? I think that's another one.
I think that's a religion.
Is it a religion? I don't know. Whatever.
Religion, right?
No, I don't. It's the people that only eat
meant
fish.
pescatarian.
What's the other one? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they just want the experience, like they don't want to miss out on that burger experience. Like that's the best I got. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's
then don't protest in front of
what shape would you want it in?
I don't know, the shape of a leaf, because that's what it is. Like,
I mean, a burger's a burger, though. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what I want, but I know what I don't want.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a lot of them now, right? Have you seen them in stores?
It's fucking everywhere.
I eat turkey burgers. I'm a big turkey burger guy.
I fuck with
turkey bacon sometimes. Yeah,
I fuck with turkey bacon.
Yeah, as long as it's 100% real. Like if it's artificial, like there's, I don't think there's a turkey shortage in the US for you guys to actually supplement something for it. Like
no,
Thanksgiving is coming.
Oh God, I miss Thanksgiving so much. But yeah, like I had a very hypocritical, and I kind of laughed at myself. Again, I was in 7-Eleven just looking for a snack or something. And like I said, I love salad. I grew up on salad, right? My mom in the summer, if it was hot or something, like she would do like a salad or like a chopped veggies tray or something. And it was so refreshing that even now, like when I overheat or I'm feeling hot, it's like I want some fresh veggies, you know what I mean? Like some dip them shits in like some French, you know what I mean? It's just something that I don't know.
Yeah.
Refreshing. But so I'm looking for something and I open the little cooler thing and I see salad, right? And I don't know how it is in the States these days, but here 7-Eleven is on it with their food. This shit is good. Right? It's not like,
Ooh,
yeah, this shit's
you don't
good.
see me go. You don't see me running to 7-Eleven for food. That's for sure.
But it's good though. It's good. And but I seen a salad and I was like, oh hell yeah! So I grabbed the salad and I look on top and it says plant-based protein, and it was supposed to be like bacon, and I was like, man, I don't want that bullshit. And then I thought like, this whole bowl is plant-based. You know what I mean? Like it's
Did you try it?
No, I put it back. I'm not eating plant-based protein. Fuck that shit.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't. I haven't tasted
I
it.
don't think I've tried it either, personally.
You already started making an
Um,
argument for it and why it's actually practical.
I mean,
Because
yeah,
Yeah, I
like,
did.
like,
Yeah.
I'd have to know if in what's the benefit, right? Like, is there really a am I going to lose weight? Am I going to get better muscle for eating? Like, what's the benefit other than just like not eating, an animal? I
Right.
guess like
there are bodybuilders who actually just consume
plant-based stuff.
vegetarian or plant-based protein like soy.
Yeah,
They
well, it
are
is. I
built
mean,
a brick house, but not necessarily WWE brick houses.
Right.
exactly. I feel like true protein, right? Like chicken
Yeah,
or
there's nothing beats true
um,
protein.
yeah,
But if
yeah.
it's for sustainability, I don't see anything wrong with it. I just hate all the grandstanding regarding it. Like
Yeah,
we're
Yeah.
so
I
actually, if we
like right when
actually
you were bringing this
consume it.
topic up, right when you brought up the topic, I immediately went to Interstellar when that like all
Mm,
they eat in that movie is corn. It's like that's gonna be
yeah.
our fucking future, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand the point behind it, right? Like sustainable food, right? Like, but and I've made this argument before with vegans and vegetarian. I've been making this argument for years. I dated a vegetarian for a couple weeks, and it was torture because where the fuck can you eat? You know what I mean? It's like the best place to go on a date
Yeah.
is grazing in a field because it's basically the same fucking thing.
What's
And
the movie? It's an old ass movie, but the green tablet or the green I'm gonna have to look it up.
Is it Soylent Green?
Uh Green tablet
but yeah,
movie?
like if there's no meat eaters, right? If we're not consuming uh animal products, right? Then we're going to have cows are going to go extinct because nobody has a pet cow. You know what I mean? Cows are here for one reason.
Maybe
Well,
someone has a pet cow
but I
somewhere.
mean, but yeah, but they're not going to be like like they are now. Pigs, even baby those little potbelly pigs, that's fine, but don't nobody really eat those. Like there's some things, some species that the only reason the species isn't extinct is because we need it as a food source. Like, what are you going to do with a fucking cow if you're not going to eat it or
Milk it.
use milk or yeah? But they don't use any of that. No animal byproducts. No milk. No butter. No.
And it's largely due to their like it's largely due to their they don't want to hurt animals, right? It's not
Yeah.
necessarily like a health
Oh,
thing.
Right.
yeah, only the cute ones.
Mm.
That's a
It's more
big asterisk.
humanitarian, right? I think it's more humanitarian.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a big asterisk on their part. Only the cute ones do they want to preserve. Because
yeah.
even insects are animals.
The movie I was thinking of was Soylent Green. Either of you seen that?
No.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Soylent
Soylent Green
Green
are
from
people.
1973.
1973.
It got some homework. Yeah, I got some homework for you guys. Go watch that movie.
I will for
Go watch
sure.
that movie. With this thought in mind of like,
Was that
what's
Charlton
what's the
Heston?
term? What?
Was that the movie with Charlton Heston? Actually, I
Yes.
watched that as a kid. It was pretty nightmarish
It's a
regarding the plot.
nightmarish movie, yes. But paints a very scary picture of what Chris is kind
How
of talking
food
about.
source might
Hmm.
actually devolve when society actually collapses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soylent Green, highly recommended. Fucked up movie.
Sure. I'm gonna try to find
Chris,
but
sure.
yeah, no, I'm gonna try to find it for real. But yeah, let's there's a couple more that I wanna pick on here. And one that has been slightly debunked, right? So I know that this is available. It's just what I'm talking about is as widespread and as common as what I see daily, right? And
Yeah.
I've been bitching about this since I was a fucking child.
Oh God.
How?
It's still a food thing.
Yeah. How is it that barbecue sauce, ranch, all these dips come in these little cups with the peel off thing, but ketchup is in a packet? How is that still
Yeah,
They actually have cups.
They
Like
do have
certain
cups.
places do have like cups.
Yeah.
Well, it's
But
like I think Wendy's, right? Wendy's might have it.
But I mean, why like I've been bitching about this since I was a kid. I've been bitching
Um,
about this for 30 years, bro.
see the
And you
it's never
still
been
don't get these at
it's
McDonald's.
never been an issue for me because like just have a big ass thing of ketchup on hand at all times, man.
No, but I'm talking about like you go to well, I know
Yeah, no,
in the States, right? Like you have the little paper cups, you go
yeah,
in there. But you know, across the world, it's not like that. Like you order takeout, you order McDonald's to your house, you order chicken nuggets and French fries, you get a cup of barbecue sauce and
two
a
packs.
packet shot of ketchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you with that. I'm actually with you there. I do think it's annoying, but for
It
the
makes
most
no
part, I eat at
sense.
home. Like I'm never really eating out, and if I do eat out, like they like Five Guys, they'll have like the little like you said the containers and stuff. I don't really
Right.
have to worry about it. But yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
to-go packets it makes no sense.
uh,
And like I said, I bitch about this every day. Every time I see it. Not every day, but every time I encounter
But
this,
for a
I'm like,
while,
why is
for
this
a
not a
long
thing?
while.
it's the same thing with us Asians. Like all the soy sauce packets
Yeah.
in ramen noodles. Like it's been how many years now? This is our technology. We haven't evolved.
Yeah, you have to wonder too. It's like, have they tried? And it's just has like what I want to know, like, what's the story behind it? Like, why haven't they tried to make it easy? Again, I know that they do have packets at certain places, but
Right.
yeah,
Maybe it's the most cost-effective thing that they could actually think of. Like
Well, I
there
for
mean,
are
sure. I
there are
mean,
some
that's
research
that's
groups
definitely like
regarding
for
this.
sure, right? Like,
yeah.
The
But I
bottom
mean,
line always trumps customer convenience.
yeah, I mean, I would
it's
imagine, maybe workshopping new ideas is expensive, right? You have to pay somebody to do the workshop. You have to pay the people to come in and participate. You have to rent the place for them to do it. Like I understand that but man, for the betterness of society, like put ketchup in a fucking cup, please. Put ketchup in a fucking cup. Everybody, no more. No more packets for real. Hashtag no more.
and the only places that do it, put it in a cup are like really expensive ass places.
Yeah,
I mean, specifically in the U.S. I don't know about elsewhere, but like if you're ordering from like a steak place or something like that, it's
yeah,
not like they're gonna give you packets, right? They're gonna have that like big ass thing for you.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
even the functionality, right? Like Christian was saying, like the whole like you have to either try to open it. Heaven
yeah,
forbid you've opened
correctly.
one already and eaten some, because then the next one is nearly impossible. It's like your second Slim Jim. You cannot open it, right? Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
You
it's
say because the
like
greasy
it's built for
fingers.
NASA.
Yeah. Gotta have like a fucking doctorate or something to get these things open. And then you have to squirt it onto the fucking I don't know. It's a whole if anyone knows, something I forgot to put on here, which I think is a great idea, is and I think I posted about this years ago, is someone from Ziploc needs to, or someone in the cereal industry needs to contact Ziploc, or someone in Ziploc needs to contact the cereal industry, and let's make these resealable cereal bags a thing.
Yes.
Damn, that is a good
Yes.
fucking. That's a good one.
You know what I mean? Like, why aren't these things?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. I'm
This
curious, even
fucking
for the
thing.
people watching, like, do you guys like take it out of the box? Do you keep it in the box? Like, what's the go-to for most people? Because for me, I usually take it out of the box, like the bag, because I know what it is. I don't need the
Hmm.
box. And I
For
get
the
clamps. I
cereal?
get like little clamp things, right?
Yeah. You
Clamp it
have
up.
chip clips.
Yeah,
Yeah,
put it
but that's a
in one of those IKEA containers for cereals.
yeah.
I
That's well, that's something my mom would do. That's too much work for me.
yeah.
Too
I
much work.
roll
An
I roll
IKEA. I don't have to build it.
how do I do it? I fold in the corners, I roll it down, and then I cram it in the box.
Yeah, the thing with us
So,
here in
so
the East, watching the commercials in the West for cereals. It's when I was a kid, I kind of thought that you just open the top and there's no plastic in it. You just pour the cereals out.
That's what they do in the commercials. That shit is not
I mean,
real.
that's kind of what happens for the most
Like,
part.
For the most
Lose
part,
a
yeah.
lot of them.
Yeah, heaven forbid you fuck up opening
In
that
the
bag.
pouring process, you lose a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah. If you fuck up opening that bag and because Lord knows as a
Oh.
kid, it happens. You got like
Yeah.
half the bags in the box, and it's just not the same anymore.
it's gonna
But
be
yeah.
exposed in air.
And cereal goes stale quick. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not if it's open.
I will say I've never had that issue though.
I've never
I've
really.
never had that issue run into me where I've had like cereal go bad, but
Yeah,
I do agree. Like they, or at least devise something a bit more,
something.
I don't know, maybe appealing or more like, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't have to be Ziploc bag.
yeah,
Maybe like a resealable bag, like one of those where you could just like press, right? And they seal back up.
yeah. But you know the sack in a box is fucking. It's old technology. You know what I mean? It's just old technology. But yeah, all right, and okay. I'm glad y'all agree with me on that one because that one's been bugging me for years too.
Yeah, same here.
It's a no-brainer, man. Like, come on. It's obvious. I mean, that's what makes people think big big corporations don't care about because they won't do simple
Well,
shit.
again, I mean, what matters most, right? Like Christian just said it literally a couple seconds ago. The bottom line matters most,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And okay, so off of the food thing, and this this annoys me to no end. And it's only because I'm not a huge pet lover.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not big into like animals in my house and things. Like it's just not me. And if you love your dog and you love your cat, fine, that's great. I get annoyed by people and their pets in public places like the mall. Like you're in the mall and you're walking your dog or you're haven't Lord knows I've seen dogs in strollers.
I think it's
That
okay, like if the mall is okay with it.
drives me fucking crazy. Because yeah, the mall may be okay with it, but there are people that are afraid of dogs.
Hmm.
Like this is very inconsiderate, I believe.
Yeah,
They got on
yeah.
burners.
It's a tough one for me. It's like if the mall's okay with it and they want to bring their dog, like it's like that's they can do that, right? I mean, it's like
Yeah,
it's
regarding the
just
ones that
I
are
don't
in
know.
strollers,
It's like
I just feel those who actually do it might want kids but can't actually have any. Like this is a surrogate for them.
Well, then
yeah.
But if they can have kids,
I mean,
well,
better
that's
if they're in a
instantly
stroller
sad.
because there's no potential of it running away or scaring someone. If it's in a
right.
stroller, it's probably the safest bet, right? I mean,
Yeah. But it just as a person, I don't know, it annoys me and I always I always make it a point whenever because it happens here a lot. Whenever I see somebody pushing their dog in a stroller, I'm always like, oh, that's an ugly ass baby.
it's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Is that like a? It must be
Then
like
you
a
notice
thing
that it
because
wasn't the
I
dog.
don't see that many. I
Yeah,
don't
I
see
didn't
that many
realize it was
dogs in
a
strollers here.
do it here, man. They got diapers on them and shit. And here in my building, actually, like that's another thing. Like they won't like leash them. There's a leash rule, but they won't leash it because they say, oh, it's okay. It's not going to hurt you. It's not the point. I don't want the thing.
Yeah,
I don't want it near me. Like, I just
Yeah,
don't. I'm not
boundaries.
afraid of it. I just don't like it.
I think neighbors there in the US actually get to shoot each other because of their dogs,
I mean,
right?
true.
My grandpa used to. I mean, there was some dogs hanging around his place where they wouldn't be hanging around long. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm again like it's like if the establishment is cool with it, that's fine by me. But I don't know. Sometimes when people bring their like dogs to the grocery store or something like that,
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
kind of
that's a good
annoying.
point. Yeah,
Yeah, like stuff like that.
that's
I can
completely
get behind.
unacceptable. Like you're not
Yeah.
allowed in a grocery store without a shirt on, but then you're going to bring in this thing. You know what I mean? Like I should be able to come in here any way I want if there can be an actual animal in here.
But the flip side of that is like they'd have to find someone to sit the dog or leave them for a bit, and some people are like not cool with that, like so
I
I don't know.
mean,
There's a lot of nuances to that, and it's like
yeah,
kind of hard for me to And
Yeah,
you
they
know,
could
it's
just
more of a like
be
it's no offense, it's more of a youth thing, right? Like I
It
feel
is.
like
It
for
is
the
a me
most
thing.
part,
they
right?
could
For the
just be
most part, people are
bringing
kind of
their
cool with
pets
dogs
to a grooming
or
center,
animals. What?
right? They could just be bringing their pets to a grooming center that's in the mall.
Well,
Yeah,
They have
straight
no
down,
choice. They
straight
have
out.
to
yeah,
enter the mall.
I don't want to see
yeah.
that bitch. I don't want to see that bitch sitting at Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Unless you see a Rottweiler in a bassinet.
well, that's where we're going if we don't get this shit under control. Like, going be motherfuckers riding horses through the mall, and like ain't nothing you can do about it because you allowed dogs in there for 100 years.
Yeah, then there's a strict
You know what I
policy.
mean? Like that's evolution, man.
There are
I'm just
police
saying.
dogs here, right? In
Yeah,
the country. Like there are strict policies when it comes to dogs here. Like
there
I
should
was
be.
kind of
Are there?
surprised that animals are actually allowed in malls.
And it's not anything against the animals themselves, right? Like some people don't like cilantro, some people love cilantro. I don't like pets. I just don't. Fish, fine. I'm just not a pet person, and I never have been. And it annoys me that I don't want to deal with animals in my daily life, and it annoys me when I go to the mall and I have to see a fucking animal where I'm eating or where I'm shopping, and it's just fucking annoying, man. Like that's why they're called house pets. They're not called mall pets. They're fucking house pets.
Yeah, I
You
hear you.
should get you a
I hear you.
Chihuahua for your birthday.
Nope. I mean, I don't hate them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I had a dog when I was
I'm gonna get
12
Chris a
had it on
bird for his
the
birthday.
No, I don't want to. I just don't. I don't like the hair. I don't like the shit. I don't like the smell. I don't even give myself an opportunity to fall in love with a dog or a cat or something because I'd much rather not have that love and not have hair all over my fucking house.
Yeah,
That's just me though. Like you said, this is definitely a me thing.
very much a you thing.
Very much, yeah. I get so annoyed. But honestly, it's not only a me thing. I have
No, well, I will say, yeah, bringing your dog to or bringing any animal to the mall for that matter. I mean, it is kind of, inconsiderate. It is inconsiderate. But again, if the mall's cool with it, it's hard to be like, oh, why is your dog here, right?
yeah. But yeah, just as much as it's a me thing by being annoyed, it's also a them thing by being inconsiderate.
Yeah.
Like not everyone likes animals, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
leave
if
a comment
you go
below
to
if you'll bring your pets to the mall.
yeah, please. Yeah, if you think pets in the
Please,
mall are okay.
if you feel that it's okay. Like I'm perfectly fine with it in a sense.
I mean, it doesn't ruin my day, but I do get kind of George Carlin-ish when it comes to it. It's like, what the fuck are you doing in here with this god? Or maybe even a Seinfeld. What's with all these dogs in the mall? One of those type
Yeah, but
things.
regards to pets, what I hate most about pets is when I see a pet owner that can't even take care of himself, that actually owns a pet.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than a sloppy pet owner.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
That's
Like,
why when I got my kid a cat, I told her that I will never clean up his shit. Never, not once. It's your chance to be responsible. This is your lecture.
I heard a thing where like when your kids ask for like a dog or something, you're supposed to make them for like a couple weeks, right? Or you not make them, but like suggest to them, okay, I need you to take like I don't know, like take this remote
Yeah.
for a walk for 20 minutes every day or twice a day. You know what I'm saying? If the kid's like, I don't want to go for it, it's like, well, imagine when this is a dog and you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like this doesn't need to be walked. That dog has to go out. So if you can't do it with this, then you'll never do it with the dog. And a lot of times that either creates a responsible pet owner or you don't have to get a dog.
Or you're missing one kid.
Or you're missing a kid and a remote. Like, God damn it. Where is never have to get up and change the channel and bullshit. Get up and change the channel, see if that Amber Alert is correct. No, I'm just that's
It went dark.
All right, but the last one, and I think it's appropriate for us, is worthless things that I bitch about regularly as paper straws.
Hence why we named
Nice.
it.
Yeah. Like actually I request 2 from Starbucks now.
I actually got a
Why?
paper straw the other day, drinking
Because
like
one's
a not a
one's not good
milkshake,
enough.
but like a juice shake almost. Like it was the worst experience, man. Like
Terrible, bro. It turns your beverage, your favorite beverage, right? Let's say you love that juice drink, right? It's your favorite beverage. It turns this experience that you're supposed to enjoy into a race against science. Right? It's like I can't enjoy this at my leisure. I have to drink this shit before my fucking straw dissolves into it.
Is McDonald's actually using paper straws there in the US?
Yes. Oh, in the
are
US?
they?
I don't know.
I haven't had McDonald's in a while.
Are they using paper straw? Because they spent millions of dollars actually just to engineer that straw. There's a reason why McDonald's straw is actually different from the rest.
But they're not. They're plastic is the best. That's why plastic is plastic. It's the best.
I think plastic was never actually
Yeah.
the issue. The issue is the humans.
Well, the issue is the fucking sea turtles. But no, I'm bullshitting. But it's no, they're not the issue.
We're gonna have
Obviously.
Pete up our ass for
No, I'm bullshitting. But no, like I mean, and I just seen a report actually today that a new study reveals that the chemicals in paper straws are more dangerous than the plastic straws. Let me see if I
Really?
can find.
Imagine that.
Yeah, go figure, right? Try to make something better and just end up making shit 100 times. Because it's all, as soon as people complain and it's enough people, then like change, they want immediate change. And some things can't be immediate, right? Like some things take
Yeah.
time.
So they're using PFAS, right? This is something that they use for fire suppressant. This is highly
Yeah.
toxic.
Toxic chemicals and are just as bad. Yeah, paper straws contain toxic chemicals and are just as bad as plastic. Long
Just a few
lasting
years
and
ago,
potentially toxic.
I think Australia had a contamination regarding this. It was a big deal for them.
And this is just it's just to the point. Like they want to appease whoever the fuck it is that always needs appeasing. I don't know who these people are, but they do this so quickly, and then it's like, wait, that wasn't a good idea. Like, are you guys old enough to remember when you were being pushed to switch to plastic at the grocery store because all the trees are being cut down to make paper bags? Y'all remember this shit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
I
that.
remember that.
Yeah, and now
Or nowadays, maybe not nowadays, like they would make you buy, like in New York, they would make you buy in Manhattan, I should say specifically, they would make you buy like these bags. Like they have like these special bags, right? It was like, I don't know, 50, maybe 75 cents on top of like your order, right? But yeah, they make you buy these like bags,
The
like
bags for life.
yeah, as opposed to just
Reusable
giving me a
ones.
plastic bag, you know.
right, and you know they did a study too. I have a few of those bags, those reusable
Please
whatever.
don't tell me
Yeah.
those reusable bags are also toxic.
No, they're not toxic, but they
Okay.
never. These things here, like I have. It's the same stuff, right? I have this thing here, like for a laptop stand, but it's the same as this, right? You get a lot of orders in this shit, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Kinda, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You throw this outside, it's there for like a million years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's incredibly sturdy. Of course, it's reusable, but so is a plastic bag. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just fucking bananas, man. The whole world's going fucking crazy.
But you see,
And life has been expensive
speaking of
here.
that,
Like
there was what is it in Cali? Cali got hit with a earthquake and a hurricane or something. No, you're not a hurricane,
Yeah.
tornado or something like that.
Hurricane, I think, right?
It was a hurricane. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, Hillary. They named it perfectly, bro. Yeah, yeah. That's so funny that it just happened to be Hillary.
You have to wonder if she's sitting at home like it's a it's a conspiracy against me.
Yeah,
is
I'm
she
sure
still gonna
somebody. I'm
run?
sure.
You guys think she's still gonna run?
Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. I mean, what like she got humiliated once.
just so cringe, man. The Democrats are all so cringe. Like they're so out of touch with reality that the only people they can appease nowadays are the people that's bitching about paper or plastic straws and fucking, I can be a unicorn, or my baby's 1 year old and it thinks it's a girl, so I'm gonna, it's these are the people that's
That
their
I
thing.
think is the biggest issue with like the world now is like the virtue signaling and it just being on the internet, like chronic internet problems. People just thinking that like, having a voice and like, speaking out against certain things are really making them better people when it's just making them look like assholes, really.
Yeah.
Long term, right? I don't know. It's a lot of like these people trying to make you're trying to make movies to appease one type of audience, right?
Yes.
Or you're trying to set in motion plans and laws that help one group of people.
Yeah.
It's we all live on this planet, like, you know what I mean? We all live on this planet. It's not just about you.
Exactly.
That's what I'll say to that, right?
Yeah, and like I think, I mean, us as a group, we've talked about this numerous times, but on the podcast, maybe not so much. Like it's fine, bro. Like live your life,
Yeah.
but I don't swerve into your lane talking about, to my gay friend, like, hey man, you should try sex with a girl.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
never do that. That's not who you are. Why am I pushing this in your face? Like that's
Yeah.
not. But when it's the other way around, all of a sudden you're a piece of shit if you don't agree with anything and everything. Like, what happened to personal opinion? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my personal opinion. I'm
The
entitled
internet.
to it. Yeah, the internet. Yeah. I had a real life Twitter encounter the other day. You ever had one of these?
What happened
Real
again?
life
Tell me.
Twitter encounter.
A real life Twitter encounter. It's where something happens to you and it's like, wow, I thought this shit only happened on Twitter.
What happened?
I was walking out of the grocery store. I might have told you all this fucking story before. I was walking out of the grocery store and it was kind of late, 7 or 8 o'clock, maybe in the evening. And I passed the guy and he says, in a very thick German accent, he says, "Are you American?" And well, actually, this wasn't the other day. This was years ago. This was when Trump was president. And he said, "Are you American?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Your president is stupid." And I was like, this feels like a Twitter interaction. You know what I mean? Like nobody says things like this in real life.
Okay. Okay. Like,
You know
who's
what I
the
mean? I was
president of
like,
Germany? Who gives a fuck about Germany? Right?
yeah, I
That's what I
mean,
would say. Who's the president of Germany? Never heard of him.
yeah,
It's some
well,
medieval shit.
they have the one.
Yeah. Good point.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They do.
and that's exactly what I said. I was like, do you really want to compare historical leaders right now? Like, you know what I mean? And then even the guard, I looked at the guard and I was like, what the fuck was that? And the guard's like, that was,
Not just necessarily leaders, actually life choices, because they were led.
well, I mean,
I
Yeah.
actually agreed with that shit.
but it was such a crazy.
That's weird.
I was expecting a, hey, I'm from here, some kind of normal interaction. Or, a lot
Yeah.
of times what happens is, are you from America? And I say, yes. And they say, oh, I have a sister that lives in California. Like those are the type conversations that usually follow that question. Not
It's like
some
the guy wanted you to call him up and be like, hey, stop being stupid.
it was and I remember as I walked away, I was like, I think that was like real life Twitter. Because
Crazy.
it's just like a random comment someone would leave.
That's
Shut up,
weird.
America. Your president is stupid. And it's just like, okay, this is Twitter. That's fine. Real life, not okay. It's weird as hell.
How old was this guy?
Mid-50s, I'd say.
Interesting.
He must have
Yeah.
just turned off CNN, maybe.
Usually that's the age group for Trump, right? 50s and above.
It was such a
That's
strange
the
thing.
Fox News viewer.
Not from Germany. CNN. That's why CNN's pumped through all the airports. It's global indoctrination.
It's kind of weird that he assumed that you actually voted for Trump just because you're
Yeah,
American.
that too. Let's see. Yeah.
You could have voted for Hillary.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with y'all, I was kind of pulling for Hillary in the beginning because I liked Bill Clinton as president.
Yeah.
I felt he
I
did
think
a really good.
everyone
Man,
actually likes
he got
Bill Clinton as a president.
he got his dick sucked. So what? Like, who cares, really? Honestly,
US
who cares?
was at a surplus back then.
Yeah, we were doing well. Clinton got lucky because he was president during the dot-com boom.
Yep.
Well, it's
Like,
again, you back to the Bill Clinton, right? It's not like it's the first time people were fucking in the White House. Like
oh god, yeah.
JFK was fucking bitches left and right, like
Oh man, yeah. Well, you see what happened.
yeah.
It's
I
not
mean, see,
allowed.
see what that got him, right?
But I mean,
I mean,
at least Jackie Onassis was attractive.
yeah, that's
You
a
know what I
good
mean?
point.
So you look at JFK and it's like, why are you cheating on Jackie? Oh man, she's a beautiful woman. You look at Bill Clinton, it's like,
Well,
I get it, I get it, I get it.
dude, because you know why? You know why JFK did that?
Why?
Because he could.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. He's a fucking superstar, man. He's the closest. That family's like the closest America's ever gotten to having a royal family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't. I mean, that's why like RFK now is doing. I'm kind of pulling for him, man. If anything's got to be better than fucking Joe Biden. Oh Jesus, criminy.
Like, who do we have in the race right now? Like
Republicans
RFK for
Demo-
both field, you think would actually push through as candidates?
That's the thing. Like, as the
Can
incumbent,
Trump even run? Because isn't he running? Or
he's doing that indictment shit right now.
but can he run or no?
Yeah, as long as he's not convicted, he can. Like,
Interesting.
indicted is just accused of. It's not a conviction. Like,
And
in
with
he-
every and with every indictment, I think he's actually increasing more in popularity.
bro, they have no idea what they're doing. They're turning him into a martyr because it's so. This is probably, other than like literally like arresting him and throwing him in jail, like, in a very, what you would imagine would happen in like a Peru or Venezuela or something. This is probably the closest America's ever been to like in your face political persecution. Because he's been hit in New York, he's been hit in Georgia now, he was hit in DC. I think he had to go to a DC court, and you see the memes, man. Like Hunter Biden, who is a known whoremongering international crackhead.
Yeah, I really don't get how that kid's not in prison.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. 0 indictments. 0.
I don't get it.
Not
It
even
baffles
one.
me. I mean, it doesn't baffle me, but you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It doesn't baffle me. I understand why he's not in prison, but come on.
Right.
Come on now.
But I mean, that's
like,
the point, right?
We're indicting Trump with this, but this asshole's running around driving Porsches at 180 miles per hour, smoking crack. What the fuck kind of world are we in? Like, come
lying.
on. Like,
I mean, just one charge of lying on a federal gun form, right? What is it called? The thing for when you have to get approval to buy, like the background check thing to be able to buy a gun. Lying on that is a federal offense. And he lied on it. He lied.
And he lied multiple times, I believe.
Yeah, and nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what we're in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if and when Trump pulls out of this fucking thing, because I mean, it's kind of their fault, right? Like, now the Republicans are talking about impeaching Biden, and the Democrats, they opened this door. Like, we just impeach willy-nilly. I don't like this, impeaching. Oh, I don't like this, impeaching. Oh, he did this, indictments. Oh, he did. Like, they started it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now if the Republicans are in power, and I hate to play, to be like I feel it's very childish, I know you are, but what am I? That type, behavior, right? Very childish. You did it to me, now I'm gonna do it to you, or But fuck them, man. If they slip up,
it's just like for me, like it's like anything, kind of anything goes when it comes to just bashing on Trump or even Joe Biden for that matter, right? Like it's just like you look at other countries, you don't see something similar happening with them, right? You don't see different sides like like praising the fact that like one of their leaders is being indicted or whatever it be.
Yeah.
It's like such a I look at other countries and they're probably looking at us like we're kids on recess running around like fucking we're kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like assholes. Like that's the way I picture it. Like other countries looking at us like
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's going
I
on over
don't
there? You know
mean
that meme with
I
the
don't
cat?
mean to be
What
so
the fuck's
dark
going on over
all of
there?
a sudden, but have you guys noticed that Al Qaeda went on vacation for a couple of years and just left the US with its own devices?
What?
Yeah. Well,
Who left?
You
okay.
guys haven't had any international terrorists for the past couple of years. You only had domestic terrorists.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The last
And that was a big thing before.
when I don't want to keep shitting on Biden, even though he absolutely deserves it. But when he botched the Afghanistan withdrawal and there was a suicide bomber at Bagram Airport, and those U.S. soldiers, they died or whatever. Like, and I don't want to keep pumping up Trump because I'm not a forever Trumper, right? Like, I honestly right now I'm Team Vivek. Like, I want somebody that's going to unite the country, and Trump is, even if he's really good at the job, if he boosts the economy, if he lowers unemployment, if he does all these things, it doesn't matter if everyone's fucking bitching,
Yeah.
right? For me, it's not an equal payoff, right? Like, I want, like that post 9/11 era, the 6 or 8 months after September 11th, when like America was America. It's so splintered right now that it's fucking insane. But when Trump was in there, he was wrecking shop, boy, overseas. Like, they wasn't fucking with. They was chilling out. He killed Soleimani. He took out a couple more. Like, they all chilled out. There was no new wars, which is a first in modern history, I think, for a sitting president. These things and they are incredibly important in my eyes. And then as soon as Joe Biden comes in, it's like, oh wait, now Russia's going to invade. When Barack Obama was in, Russia took Crimea. Trump was in, crickets in the whole world, crickets with the whole thing. As soon as Trump left, Russia invaded Ukraine. Like, it's not a coincidence. It's not.
Interesting.
But
I
yeah,
still feel that Putin got something out of that Trump thing. It's
Putin and
just
Trump.
not that. Yeah, Putin got something.
I mean, you have to give them something, right? They're tyrannical dictators. Like, you kind of have. I know they say, "Oh, we don't bargain with terrorists," and bullshit. Like, you kind of have to. If you can appease the screaming child, are you not going to do it, or are you just going to let it break everything in your house?
Yeah, if you think about it, if Trump actually wins, he's still gonna deal with this Ukraine thing if he actually sits in
Well,
office.
he was this close to peace in the Middle East with the Abrams Accord. They signed it. Everybody signed it. They was on
Yeah, I
board.
don't personally not like I don't know like in politics that well personally. I just don't follow it like as much.
Well, it's I didn't before until like the insane amount of hypocrisy that I started to see. Like,
Yeah.
people not liking no matter who it is, the president of the United States, because social media and his political opponents continuously push false narratives. Like, that is insane.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
did the Russia hoax thing. Come to find out, Hillary Clinton paid for the whole thing. Nothing's happened. Right. Then what was the other one? That there's when he said when they tried to make him out as a racist when he said that these countries are not sending their best and their brightest to the southern border. Right. They're sending murderers, they're sending rapists. The media says Trump says all immigrants are rapists. Not even close to what he said. Like, and they ran with that shit. And people, like I was saying earlier, CNN's on in all the airports. Like, you go through any airport, CNN's on those TVs. Or some MSNBC, some liberal media's up there. It's not Fox News.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as people are waiting on airplanes and walking down the whatever the fuck those things are called. They're seeing these headlines, they're seeing these 5-10 minutes worth of liberal propaganda, and then they believe that shit because it's on U.S. news. Why wouldn't it be true?
Yeah, speaking of US media, like I think US media probably died down with the writer strike right now, right? Because there's a lot less banter between late night hosts who are more leaning politically left.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Personally,
I
don't know.
mean, I think for the most part, like news medias, right? That's more on journalism. So it's not really like I don't know how much the strike. If anything, this strike is helping them because like they're the only original content on television right now.
Yeah, which
Like
yeah,
Gutfield is killing it. Gutfield is like the #1 late night show on television, and he's
you
right
think of
wing.
news as content?
Hmm?
News is content now. It's the only content available.
I mean, it really is. I mean, you know, everything else has died down because of the strike and stuff. So, but journalism, I mean, if you can make it interesting, then you're going to get views. Because what else you going to watch? Reruns? Woke ass Snow White?
I don't
No.
think they can play actual reruns now because of the residuals.
Yeah, I don't think they can do anything really right now. Fuck them. I mean, like you said the other day, it just shows that we don't really need them. It's kind of a good thing. But yeah, I mean, we're sitting at about an hour and a half. You guys good? Any grievances or?
It
No.
actually felt good. You actually brought up a good topic regarding the annoyances. So
Yeah,
I was actually almost thinking the same things.
right. I was sitting here
It's
stressing out
interesting.
over.
I thought you were gonna bring up some movies and stuff like that. It's an interesting choice.
Like I was actually thinking about habits of people that
Hmm.
actually annoy
Oh,
you.
yeah,
That's a whole other can of
a whole
worms.
other one. I will throw something at a stranger if I hear them chewing.
Hmm.
Like public, or I will, bitch, you better close your mouth. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's one that I can't deal with really. But no, because I was sitting here like I was like, man, we're gonna do the pod later, and I don't really know what the fuck I want to talk about. So, you know, as procrastinators will do, I'm watching fucking YouTube and not really thinking about anything.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I see that commercial for non-alcoholic beer, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. And I was like, okay, what else really annoys me that? And then it took me like 2 minutes to make that list because these things are. I don't want plant-based bacon looking bacon. I don't want that shit. But yeah, but I think that kind of opens the door for like literally any topic.
Yeah, to all the viewers, please leave a comment below on what are the other things that actually annoy you besides the ones we actually Chris actually mentioned.
Yeah.
Even
See if
minor
y'all.
pet peeve.
Yeah, and how do y'all do y'all cereal? Because I know some people transfer the
That I'd
entire.
love to know.
Some people transfer the contents from the bag to like Chris was saying, like a plastic something. Or if you're bougie and you got the fucking cereal dispenser, I mean, you
Yeah, well,
know.
I have kids, so they're animals. They just tear into the box if I don't transfer it to something sturdy.
Okay, well that also, yeah,
And there's no point actually having ants actually crawl in.
yeah.
Even if you seal them, sometimes ants will actually tear through that plastic.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you have to do the the Filipino protective island. You know what I'm saying? Like you
The water,
the dish of
the
water,
plate with water,
up
you put it
and
in the
like all
middle.
done. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
The
that's
ant,
next. Yeah. But
the
all right.
moat.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a moat for yeah, it's like a donut moat. But all right, gentlemen, yeah, I appreciate the time, and to the viewers and everybody, yeah, please engagement's what makes it happen. Feel free, ask questions, give your point of view, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.